Welcome to College Briefing. The content of the briefing includes: voters in Finland will choose a president to shape a new NATO era. It is suffocating, a top liberal university is under attack in India. Sunday's time schedule. Western appeasement of anti-Israel fanatics threatens to hand victory to axis of evil. Maxime Reynaud scores 25, Stanford hits 19 threes in 99-68 win over USC. Voters in Finland will choose a president to shape a new NATO era. New York Times. Finland will elect a new president on Sunday, with the outcome being of particular interest due to the country's recent NATO membership. The winner will play a key role in shaping Finland's relationship with NATO, as well as dealing with the country's longest border with Russia. The election is also of interest to European and American allies as they grapple with geopolitical challenges from Moscow and Beijing, as well as uncertainty over U.S. aid to Ukraine. It is suffocating, a top liberal university is under attack in India. New York Times. Jawaharlal Nehru University, JNU, one of India's leading liberal institutions, is facing pressure from Hindu nationalists who view the university and others like it as dangerous due to their anti-India ideas. Masked men have attacked students on campus, while supporters of the right-wing governing party have suspended students for protesting and imposed new restrictions on demonstrations. Professors have also been denied promotions for questioning government policies. This pressure on JNU is part of a broader effort to silence dissenting voices in India, including media organizations, human rights groups, and think tanks. Hindu nationalists seek to transform India into an explicitly Hindu nation. Sunday's time schedule. Associated Press. The article provides a schedule of sporting events happening on February 11th. It includes the Super Bowl 58 between San Francisco and Kansas City, NBA games, NHL games, top 25 men's and women's college basketball games, golf tournaments, and tennis tournaments. Western appeasement of anti-Israel fanatics threatens to hand victory to axis of evil. Telegraph. In an op-ed for The Telegraph, Jake Wallace-Simons argues that the Western world has fallen into a state of cultural somnambulism, failing to respond to the realities of global threats and instead indulging in fantasies and hypocritical stances. He points out that the disproportionate attention and criticism directed towards Israel is an example of this phenomenon, with the West disregarding the country's reality and instead focusing on imaginary images of the Jewish state. Simons argues that this hypocrisy is connected to the West's own condition of cultural somnambulism. He also discusses the failure of the two-state solution, pointing out that the main obstacle to peace is the Palestinian leadership's refusal to accept the presence of Jews in the land. Maxime Reynaud scores 25, Stanford hits 19 threes in 99-68 win over USC. The Toronto Star. Stanford defeated Southern California, USC, in a college basketball game, winning by a score of 99-68. Maxime Reynaud led Stanford with 25 points and 9 rebounds. The team also set a program record with 19 three-pointers made in the game. Freshman Andrei Stojakovic had a career-high 20 points, while Spencer Jones contributed 15 points. USC's Bronny James, son of NBA player LeBron James, scored 6 points in the game. Stanford dominated the first half, going on a 25-0 run to take a commanding lead. USC has now lost 8 of its last 9 games and is winless in its last 7 road games. How OU basketball rode emotions to Bedlam win over Oklahoma State, trying to stack wins. Yahoo! OU came out on top 66-62 against their rivals Oklahoma State on Saturday night, thanks to clutch late-game heroics from Rivaldo Soares and Otega Oa. The win puts the Sooners in a positive position for a chance to make the NCAA tournament. However, they have some tough games ahead, including Baylor, Kansas, Iowa State and Houston. JT School Bond vote on Tuesday's ballot. Yahoo! Justice Diawa School District 9 is asking patrons to vote yes for a $11.73 million facilities construction bond this week. The bond would allow the district to construct classrooms on both campuses, with the new space serving as storm shelters. The bond would also enable the district to renovate entrances, add parking and fencing, and revamp student recreation areas. Jimmy's men's hoops get convincing 87-77 win over Midland. Yahoo! The University of Jamestown men's basketball team defeated Midland University with a score of 87-77. The Jimmies had a strong first half, shooting 48.4% from the field and forcing the Warriors to shoot 36.4%. They were also able to capitalize on the Warriors' mistakes, scoring 12 points off turnovers. The Jimmies went into halftime with a 42-32 lead. USC and UCLA battle for one big goal as March Madness gets closer. Yahoo! The USC women's basketball team defeated Arizona State on Friday night, as you probably know by now. Elsewhere in the Pac-12, the outlook improved for the Trojans in their attempt to secure one of several goals for the remainder of the Pac-12 regular season. One such goal relates to UCLA. The Plains Potter who angers the rich and famous. BBC. Florida student Jack Sweeney tracks private planes owned by celebrities, politicians, tycoons and Russian oligarchs, and posts the information to his social media accounts. Sweeney says he believes in the importance of transparency and public information, as well as the environmental angle of tracking private planes' carbon dioxide emissions. His data has been used in studies showing the huge carbon footprint of celebrities such as Taylor Swift, who argues that releasing the location of her private plane puts her at risk from stalkers. Sweeney rejects this, arguing that her fans are the ones truly interested in tracking her plane. Sweeney was also subject to pressure from Elon Musk, who threatened to sue him and banned his Twitter account after Musk claimed that the account had led to a stalker climbing on top of his craft while his child was inside. Sweeney now runs an account that tracks Musk's jet with a 24-hour delay, in order to comply with a site rule banning real-time location tracking. Tominaga, Nebraska performed demolition of Michigan thumping Wolverines 79-59. Associated Press. Nebraska defeated Michigan 79-59 in a Big Ten basketball game on Saturday. Keesey Tominaga scored 19 points for Nebraska, while Josiah Allick scored 16 points. Michigan's Namari Burnett was the only player to reach double figures in scoring for his team with 18 points. Michigan now holds last place in the conference and will face number 10 Illinois next, while Nebraska will host Penn State on February 17. Number 24 Oklahoma women beat Cyclones 86-72, win 8th straight and first at Iowa State since 2017. Associated Press. Peyton Verhulst scored 25 points, including 6 three-pointers, to lead number 24 Oklahoma to an 86-72 victory over Iowa State on Saturday night. Verhulst also grabbed 8 rebounds and had 6 assists. Oklahoma has now won 8 straight games and 10 of its last 11. The Sooners are 11-1 in Big 12 conference play for the first time since the 2008-2009 season. Iowa State has lost 4 of its last 5 games. Defenseless Hoyas stand no chance against top-ranked Connecticut. Washington Post. Georgetown lost 89-64 to Connecticut, clinching its 8th losing conference record in the past 9 seasons to match its total from the Big East's first 36 years. The land of Ferrari and Lamborghini has a new speed limit, 30 km/h. The Sydney Morning Herald. Bologna's decision to impose a 30 km/h speed limit is causing discontent among residents. The limit is seen by some as a threat to the city's reputation as a home of fast cars, and critics argue it will cause traffic congestion. However, supporters of the limit argue it will lead to safer, healthier cities. In the first 2 weeks since the limit was introduced, traffic accidents fell by 21%, according to the city. Canada's Nick Taylor takes one-shot lead into Sunday at waterlogged Phoenix Open. CBC. Golf fans partied so hard at TPC Scottsdale for the Phoenix Open that the event had to close the gates and limit alcohol sales. The tournament had to turn away attendees due to the large crowd, but the atmosphere is what many players enjoy. The Phoenix Open is unlike any other golf tournament, with up to 200,000 fans packing the course. The eye of the rowdy storm is the multi-tiered 16th hole, a par 3 hole that is described as a frat party where quiet please signs are ignored. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Six, your resident observer from the 6-degree world, here to bring you another edition of the 6-degree briefing. Let's dive right into today's news stories. In Finland, voters will be electing a new president who will play a crucial role in shaping the country's relationship with NATO. With an ever-changing geopolitical landscape, this election has garnered interest from European and American allies, who are dealing with challenges from Moscow and Beijing. It will certainly be an election to watch. Moving on to India, one of its top liberal institutions, Jawaharlal Nehru University, JNU, is facing attacks from Hindu nationalists who view the university as dangerous due to its anti-India ideas. This is part of a broader effort to silence dissenting voices in the country. It's a concerning situation that highlights the importance of protecting academic freedom and freedom of speech. Now, let's talk about sports. We have a jam-packed schedule of sporting events happening today, including the Super Bowl 58, NBA and NHL games, college basketball, golf tournaments, and tennis tournaments. So, grab your popcorn and get ready for a day filled with thrilling sports action. In an op-ed for The Telegraph, Jake Wallace Simons discusses the Western world's indulgence in fantasies and hypocritical stances. He points out the disproportionate attention and criticism directed towards Israel, arguing that the West disregards the country's reality. Simons also highlights the failure of the two-state solution, with the main obstacle being the Palestinian leadership's refusal to accept the presence of Jews in the land. It's an interesting perspective on the complexities of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. On the basketball court, Stanford had an impressive win over USC, setting a program record with 19 three-pointers made in the game. Meanwhile, OU came out on top against Oklahoma State, thanks to clutch late-game heroics. Both teams are making strides towards their goals, but they still have tough opponents ahead. In other news, Justice Diawa School District 9 is asking patrons to vote yes for a facilities construction bond that would improve their campuses and provide storm shelters. It's an important vote that will shape the future of education in the district. Now, let's talk about the fascinating world of plane spotting. Florida student Jack Sweeney tracks private planes owned by celebrities, politicians, tycoons, and Russian oligarchs. His data has been used to study the carbon footprint of these planes, shedding light on the environmental impact of private aviation. It's an intriguing intersection of transparency, public information, and the environment. Lastly, Bologna in Italy has imposed a 30 km/h speed limit, causing some discontent among residents who see it as a threat to the city's reputation of fast cars. However, proponents argue that it will lead to safer and healthier cities. It's a debate between speed and safety, with both sides making valid points. And that wraps up today's news stories. Now, it's time for you, my dear viewers, to join the discussion. What are your thoughts on Finland's election and its impact on NATO? How do you feel about the attacks on liberal institutions in India? Are you excited about the sporting events happening today? Do you agree with the points raised in Jake Wallace-Simon's op-ed? Let me know your thoughts, and keep the conversation going. Remember, folks, stay curious, stay informed, and stay connected in this 6-degree world. This is Dr. Six signing off, and thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.